quite a gloomy, rainy few weeks right here in Gauteng, with thunder, rumbling and lightning cracking across the skies, especially most evenings, I'm sure you would agree. But what appears to be somewhat different this year is the number of days we've had with rain in the mornings. So to tell us why, I'm joined now by Professor Francois Engelbrecht, who's a climatologist from the Global Change Institute. Prof, good morning to you and thank you so much for your time. I don't know, personally I'm a bit biased. I enjoy my evening rains because, I don't know, they just add an extra sweetness to my sleep. But in the morning, when it's cold and gloomy, I tend to be a bit grumpy and wish that I could just stay at home in my pajamas all day. So perhaps you could just describe to us what we're going through right now. Why does our weather look like this?
Good morning, Tumelo. Thanks for having me. Yes,
Prof,
it's quite very.
I can see your lips moving, but we can't hear you. Please check your audio for us.
Yeah, I'm not muted.
Oh, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Apologies. I can hear you, Prof. Yes, please go ahead.
Sure. Good morning and thanks for having me.
Morning.
Yes, we are in a so-called La Nina season. And that means that we often get the formation of big cloud bands over southern Africa. And what has been happening the last several weeks is that we've been having this almost stationary cloud band stretching all the way from Angola across northern Namibia, Botswana, and then into the interior of southern Africa, of South Africa. And as long as this cloud band remains in place, it means that tropical moisture is being transported into South Africa almost all the time, and that frequently then results in the formation of thunderstorms or just more general rain. So I think our water managers and our farmers are, of course, much more happy about this good spell of rain and this good onset to the rainy season than you are, to me.
Yeah, well, of course, and I'd rather them being happy than myself, right? Because they have a bigger and better job that they're doing to ensure that we have food supply. But in terms of, the time of the year that we're in December, is this absolutely normal? Is it usual for us to have, such weather?
No, I would say we are so far experiencing a somewhat above normal rainy season. So over very large parts of South Africa, I would say more or less from the Free State eastwards, we've so far had more than 150 millimeters of rain, which is really good for this early point in December. And especially over Gauteng and parts of the eastern Free State and the southern Free State, rainfall has been close to double the normal that we experience at this point in time in the season. So above normal rainfall thus far, and the outlook is that because we have a La Nina event in the Pacific Ocean, the rest of the summer should also be associated with above normal rainfall over much of the summer rainfall region in the east. And that's, of course, very good news, but we should take note of the fact that during these La Nina seasons, we also from time to time get flash floods. When we get very intense thunderstorms, flash floods can occur in our cities. That has been happening in Gauteng in the last few weeks already. And there's also always the possibility of a larger scale flood. So specifically over Mozambique and sometimes in northeastern South Africa, we are affected by so-called tropical lows or tropical cyclones during La Nina seasons. So although seasons like these are usually good news for South Africa in terms of water security, they can sometimes also bring a flood risk. So that is something we need to keep an eye on as we move deep into summer.
Yeah, and I'm glad you addressed this, Prof, because, I've had a conversation with the Gauteng emergency services saying they're keeping, on high alert for those low-lying areas because they've seen the ramifications of those floods, whether it be, accidents or, cars and even taxis being stuck, or even just residents who live in some of those areas having, water flooding through their homes. So it's good news on one hand, but we should equally be, cautious of what these floods could cause in terms of just disruption on daily living routine.
Absolutely, Tumelo. And you see what happens during these good spells of rain over southern Africa during these La Nina seasons. It's not uncommon at all to have a thunderstorm producing 50 millimeters of rain overnight. Just a few days ago, locations in the Lowveld recorded almost 100 millimeters of rain, close to 100 millimeters of rain in a 24-hour period. So, of course, that brings the potential for flash flooding. And as long as it continues to rain, it means that the soils are becoming more and more saturated. the levels of the rivers and the streams in the cities are gradually getting higher. So the potential for flood risk will certainly be increasing as we move deeper into summer.
All right. Well, we appreciate you speaking to us, and we'll be sure, of course, to keep an eye for that, especially for those in those low-lying areas. Professor Francois Engelbrecht, thank you so much for your time coming there from Global Change Institute.